If you're using a browser like Chrome or one of the latest versions of Firefox that supports HTML5, you can add your images inline to your messages. So instead of having to click on the insert image button and then upload an image or add it by its URL, you can just drag and drop it into your message. So there are two ways to do it. One way, when I'm looking at a website and I see an image I like, how about an image from the lynda.com website? I am going to right click on this image and choose copy image, or you can press Control C or Command C to copy an image. Then I'll go into my mailbox, I'll put my cursor where I want that image to go, and I'll press Control V or Command V to paste that image. I see the spinning for just a moment and that image is placed in my email. From here, I can decide if I want that to be small, medium, large, or the original size. Also, when the image is selected, I can use these different alignment buttons to align the image. So I'll highlight the image and then I will align it center or right or to the left. If I need to remove the image, I'll click Remove. You can also drag and drop an image from your desktop. So this works with JPEGs, PNGs, GIFs. So here I am looking at some beautiful pictures. I want to add this picture of penguins to my message. So I'll go ahead and I'll hover it right here and it spins around for a little while. It's a larger image, so it takes some time. And there's that image. Now I want to edit this image a little bit. I'll select it and then I'll choose small and I can put my text in right here. So that's how you add an image inline into the body of your message. And you do need to be using a browser that supports HTML5 like the latest versions of Chrome and Firefox. If you want to personalize your messages, you may want to change your default text styling. So if you just go with the default, it's this sans serif font, kind of like an Arial, and I think it's about 10 points and it's black. That's the default text. But you can also include a special default text styling. Maybe you want your text to be a little larger. Maybe you write to people who have vision problems. Maybe you want your text to be a certain color or a certain font. You can do that by enabling the default text styling lab. So if I go into my labs, I've already got this enabled. It's called default text styling. There it is, default text styling. So I've got this enabled. So you should enable this lab as well. Then, when you go into your General tab, you can set up your default text styling. And this is a preview of what it would look like. So maybe I want my messages to be in this Courier font. So it will be in Courier. And maybe I want the size to be large. And I want the color to be dark green. Maybe I want it to be bold too. So now this is my default text. I do need to save my changes. So I'll click Save Changes. Now when I go to compose a new message, I'm typing with that default text. So that's great. Now all of the messages I sent are in this Courier font, dark green, bold, and a larger size. However, you should remember if you're sending this to someone who's not using rich text or is maybe reading this on a mobile device, they will not see the special text formatting. So you should just be aware of that. If you decide that you want to go back to just the default text, go into your mail settings, go into the default text style area, click on this, which removes the formatting, and this starts you with a blank slate. So you can go back to the default text, or maybe all I want to do is change the font. I just want it to be narrow. And then save my changes down here, and now I've got a new default text. I want to talk a little bit about copying and pasting content and images into Gmail, because this is really something that differs depending on the browser you're using. I found that Internet Explorer is the worst for trying to copy and paste content, and that Chrome is the best. So let me just show you some examples of copying and pasting content. So if you just want to go ahead and compose a new message and maybe copy some content from a website, so I'm on the lynda.com website, I'm going to take some of this content and I will just highlight it, press Control C, and I will copy it into the body of my email. Now it does retain the formatting, and it also includes links. So this is now a link here. So this would take me to whatever link was attached to that little post here. So this is a great way of just copying and pasting and keeping your format. Now, it might not support all of the format, but it will support most HTML fonts and styles. So if you're copying from one web page to another, the formatting will usually be retained. Now, when you're copying from Microsoft Office or word processing a desktop application to Gmail, the formatting does not always stay, and that's because that's a different type of code that's not using HTML. When you create an Excel document or a Word document, you're not using HTML, you're using the Microsoft Office language, and so copying and pasting does not always retain the format. One thing you could try is saving your document or your Excel spreadsheet as an HTML file, then copying and pasting. So let's talk about copying and pasting images. Works really well in Chrome. If you want to copy an image, this is an image here. When I right click it, I say I've got some image options like copying the image URL or just copying the image. I'll go ahead and copy the image. Then I'll come into my email, press Control V, and it pastes the image. And now I can even make changes to this image. Well, I can make it small or medium or large, or I can remove it. I have not found that copying images and pasting them work as well in Firefox or Internet Explorer. It's kind of hit or miss. So if you do a lot of copying and pasting of content, try using Chrome.